Welcome back to the ARV Family Journal Let's Play series. Last episode we demoed the house and heard from the women of the house and how they felt about it. This time, we're building the house back up. We start off by doing the outline of the house. I use floor plans I find online and then I generally use a doorway to scale the whole thing with. After the outline is placed we go down into the crypt and start working. Then up to the master bed and bath for a bit. I'm very chaotic when I'm building, I tend to focus on an idea rather than a room. There's even a spot where I start work on the aquarium here. Next we move into the kitchen where I slow down and focus on just this room. I like my builds to reflect the personalities of the residents or at least myself. So this house is very girly in a bold and fun kind of way. Figuring out these upper cabinets was such a pain. It just looked awkward no matter how I put them. So I went with shelving that I made larger. After exploring the backsplash options I had and the tiles, I decided to go with mirrors for a backsplash. It gives it a clean look and reflects pun intended the current matriarch, Bridget's, personality. After this knife block I kind of get bored trying to decorate in this room so I move on. In the laundry room, I want it to be simple but still have a lived-in look. So I add shelving that has laundry-related items on it. I'm hoping they don't try to use this sink, but I always feel a laundry room is more complete when it has a sink to soak items in. I go with dark flooring to match the shelving and a bold green to help bring out the plants. I don't know why I chose to put one of the portraits in here, but I like it. I also used custom paintings I grabbed before demolishing the last house. I add a few more pieces of clutter like this bucket of cleaning stuff, a rug and an ironing board as well. Tam really loved to do the laundry and keep the last house clean. I'm wondering if his ghost is going to haunt this house and help keep it clean. Let's hear from Bridget.
This house is exactly what we needed. It's big enough to give everyone their space, especially Mom, which I know she appreciates, but it still feels cozy, you know? The kids' rooms upstairs? Perfect. Charlotte's little bathroom? Adorable. And the pool and studio? I might never leave. It's nice to come back to something stable after the whirlwind of the competition. Now it's just about filling this house with love, and maybe a few more kids. We'll see.
Next I moved to changing out the half walls I used to just carve out the rooms into something that I'll actually keep. Then I moved to the dining room and build the long table like they had before. I find the right lighting before I move the tables to add a paper towel roll and salt and pepper shakers. Then I play with the family portrait for a bit. I paint the walls with the black and then do the floors with white wood because I like the contrast. I thought tables would be cluttery here in these corners but plants would be amazing. I use a column to break up the different paints before moving to the living room. I bought this pack simply for these couches and use them in most of my builds. I wish there were more cushion or color options, but it's okay. The bookshelf I add here ends up being replaced a couple of times before I'm done with this build. I just couldn't decide what I wanted. This rug adds a nice pop of bold colors for me. But it didn't go with the pink so I changed it. I really loved how they all played games a lot in the bachelorette house so I made sure to add a game table to the living room in hopes that the Sims enjoy playing games together. Outside, I add another seating area. This one has a fire pit in the middle. So the Sims can hang out outside on cool days and enjoy the crispness of fall or spring but not freeze to death. Of course we can't forget the hot tub. What nice house would be complete without one? I then build the pool. I have a play area for the children on the opposite side of the house from this area. So this area is mostly going to be for the adults. I go with purple and gray for the colors in the pool with a simple white trim. I make sure steam vents are added to prevent accidental deaths. Then I add lighting for those nighttime swims. Baby Charlotte seems to be in the way here, but it's okay because we need a nice sunbathing spot anyhow. I keep it very simple with just the chairs and rocky terrain paint. If you're wondering when I added the trellises, good question. I actually didn't record a whole session on accident. I thought it was recording but when I quit the game I noticed I didn't. So I add in a much more appropriate light to the living room and change out the windows. I start to lay out the floor plan of the upstairs portion of the house. There will be a total of 5 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms just up here. I do end up changing the rooms that share a wall with the upper floor of the living room later. At this point it was more trying to figure out what I had to work with than getting it laid out exactly right. Here I'm fixing these windows, again. I do this a lot. I'm adding lighting to different parts of the house, back to the chaos building. I don't know why I'm like this. I just get an idea in my head and I either better go do it or I'm going to forget to do it at all. These awkward shaped rooms will end up just being utility rooms that they're unable to access. The diagonal walls make things weird sometimes. This room is going to be a general studio and also gym for Blythe. When I take formal photos I love to use the set that came with this pack. For the candid shots, I use a mod by Ravasheen. I wanted to really get this to be bright in here but it was really being a pain. I put a bunch of lights in and it never quite does what I want before I move on. I wanted to put in a seating area but after working with the different options I go for a non-usable seating area instead. It's not like they're going to sit where I want them to sit anyhow and there is already a usable seating area in this room under the aquarium. Well, maybe not at this point but it gets put in there eventually. You can see it here in this shot. I quickly get the studio bathroom completed then move up to the entryway of Anya's apartment. She's a musician so I keep it artsy but clean. A nice statue that appreciates the feminine form mirrored in to reflect itself, bold wallpaper and dark flooring. Next we move to her apartment. I do the bathroom first. Shower tub combo, toilet sink. All easy and simple. When I can't find a spot for the towels I try to hang them on the door. I've yet to try to see if this blocks it in or not. I went a little complex with the headboard. I used upper cabinets and a couple of shelves that I sized up. The square block shelves are to stop the clipping from the bed going into it, and the middle ones aren't necessary but they snap together and I like them there.